Hey, welcome back to the channel. Back in the garage today, and I'm actually doing some work on the Limited, my first actual work. I'm actually not the first. I actually did the 3.0 oil change on it, but I didn't film it. One, because I'm a terrible YouTuber, and two, we had just got back from vacation, and I had one day in between. We were going to Port Dover. So I really didn't have time to actually go ahead and film, because if anyone does film any of this stuff, it takes a lot longer filming when you're doing something, just to get the angles, and you're always worried about this. I've filmed a few things where literally I forgot to film because I was trying to get it done quickly. But anyways, today I need to do the rear brakes on it. They're starting to squeal a little bit, so I went ahead and bought some pads. So anyways, let's get into it. Oh, and before we get started, like always, if you've ever watched anything before, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm literally just going ahead, following the owner's manual. Actually, not the owner's manual, the service manual. I recommend you get one if you are going to do any of this. I'll give some torque specifications for the caliper stuff. But make sure you check your service manual, because it may be different. It's probably the same, but it may be different. I don't have the actual physical one. I actually download them. I found a website that actually it's $28 Canadian, and it gives you all the supplemental ones. So it's not just the service manual for a Limited. It has like the electrical. It also has for the CVO or Screaming Eagle one, which this is. I'm not 100% sure what the difference is on that service stuff opposed to a regular one, but I guess there's some added stuff on here that isn't on your regular Ultra Limited. So with that $28 Canadian, you get all of those things. So I just thought that was a lot easier, and I don't have my laptop with me because my wife has it. So I may have to run downstairs a few times just to figure out what I'm doing. Now, having said that, I did get the actual Harley Davidson one of the brake pads. I didn't go with, a different name brand or anything. One of the reasons why is this comes with a new caliper pin. So like I said, I haven't done it on this one before, but I did do the brakes on the Softail. If I remember, I'll leave a link somewhere. And this is why I went with the Harley Davidson one. So you get your two brake pads, obviously, but it does come with the caliper pin, and it does come with grease. This here are templates to put the grease onto the brake pads. When I did the Softail, it only came with the brake pads, no grease, no nothing. So the owner's manual actually doesn't say anything about putting grease on here when you're installing it. So I don't know if it's 100% necessary, but I'm going to do it because I have it. But when I used it on that, I didn't. I haven't had any issues. I think it's been 2 years. It's almost time to do them again. But yeah, I don't know if you actually need to use them. When I posted that video, there was one person that mentioned the grease, and I was like, I had no idea what he was even talking about. I didn't use it on there. Maybe you need it, but I've got it, so I'm going to put it on. So first things first, got to get that bike out of the way and take the saddlebag off, the right rear saddlebag. I won't bother you with that. I'm just going to do it. Now, another good thing about when you are buying Harley Davidson parts is they do actually give you instructions on how to do it. However, these instructions here aren't actually about replacing the pads. It's actually about putting the grease onto the brake pads. So combine that. So this way I'll know how to actually do that properly, but you will need a service manual for that. So I'm going to just show you what parts you're going to need, or not parts, which tools you'll need. So obviously you need a ratchet. You need a 3/16 Allen key or hex key, and 15/16. This is for the pin on the caliper, and this is for the caliper bolts. You're going to need a flathead screwdriver and a Phillips screwdriver, and you're going to need a torque wrench. I have two here because one is pretty small and it's in inch pounds, and another one is in foot pounds, so you may need two different torque wrenches because I don't have one that will do both of those torques. So I'm going to have to use two different torque wrenches, but you might have one that might work. Anyways, saddlebags off. First thing is they tell you to actually take the caliper bolts off. However, I vaguely remember from the last one is I'm going to loosen this first because it's hard to loosen that, even though it's not tight, but to hold it and try to loosen it when it's not on here, it's a little harder. So I'm going to just loosen that, and then I'm going to take the caliper bolts off. Loosen the pin with your 3/16. I'll just loosen it a little bit. And take your 15/16 Allen and take these off. So one of the things I'm trying to do in my older age is take better care of my stuff. And since this bike is in such great condition, I'm going to just protect this with Spider-Man's. So you just go ahead and remove the caliper. I'm actually going to remove the cover because it's going to make it a little bit easier and give me a little bit more room. Now, if you do have ABS, you might want to actually disconnect this clip here just so you have more room to actually maneuver the caliper when you take it off. So let's go ahead and take it off. Okay, so I'm not sure if you could see that. I was struggling to get this off. What I had done, actually, they don't give you much room here, and now I'm kind of worried it's not going to go back on. What I had to do is just get a screwdriver in. These are old pads, so don't do it with your new ones, but I just actually separated them a little bit more to actually be able to get it off. Yeah, I didn't realize I'd have to do that. But anyways, take it off, put it aside, make sure it's not going to damage anything. One of the parts you might need actually is needle nose. Oh, actually, never mind. Next thing, take the little retaining clip off from your pin, and we can go ahead and remove the pin now. Comes out a lot easier because I've loosened it up already. There's the pin. Now this is an old one. Almost looks a little bent a little bit. But I guess that's why you replace them. Yeah, it looks a little bent. But as you can see, there's the little groove there. I don't know if you can see it there, but that's where that little clip goes in to make sure that doesn't come out. On to the next part. So the next part is just finding the master cylinder for the rear brakes. I'm just going to stuff, I'm going to need more than that. Just stuff a bunch of rags down here just in case this leaks at all. And this is where your Phillips screwdriver comes in, is you're just going to loosen this off. Now you don't need to take it off all the way, although the manual does. Just break the seal on it. There. Now back to here, and you're going to take your, well, not your Phillips, your flathead, and by loosening that, it takes off all the pressure, and just pry them apart. I always do, or always, I've done this twice, but I read somewhere that you try to do it slow, because if you do it too fast, they can come out in the front reservoir. Just make sure all around it's pushed in. And don't worry about ruining them, because they're the old brakes, so that's why you do them before you put the new ones on. And then you can just take the old pads out. As you can see, mine are pretty worn. Now take your brake pads out, the new ones. And you're going to take your stencils, and they're actually sticky, so take the backing off. Of course, I was doing the wrong one. Two. Then you take out your grease. Now you don't need to put a ton on it, and you actually, I don't know if you can see that, you don't actually get a lot anyways. So you just want to make sure you get enough in each one. That should be enough. Spread it all in. And then what you can do is take this little card that they give you and just scrape off any of the excess. There. Now you can just peel them off. Now they're ready to be installed. Okay, now to put them in, make sure your hands are clean or wear gloves like a smart person. But you put the bottom in first, and then they'll just slide right in. That didn't go in right. Let's try that again. There, that's a little better. Take your new pin. Slide it through. I'm just going to start it up here. Okay. Now put the caliper back on. Hopefully it goes on easier than it did coming off. And it does. Successful. Okay, now your bolts. Now in the manual it doesn't say anything about thread lock or anything, so I'm not going to do it, but I know a lot of people that work on Harleys put thread locker on everything, just because the manual says not to, or it doesn't specifically say not to, but it doesn't say to do it. I'm not going to. So the torque for the caliper bolts are 43 to 48 foot-pounds, 58.3 to 65.1 Newton meters. But again, check your owner's manual to make sure it's the same as what mine are. And for the caliper pin, it's 75 to 102 inch-pounds, or 8.5 to 11.5 Newton meters. But again, check your owner's manual. Now, you just slide your pin in, or I guess a cotter pin, I guess it is. Make sure this is sticking out this way so it's easier to grab. There. Now on the back end, the only thing you need to do is, if you did take this clip off, I don't even know if I have it in frame, but if I do, you know what I'm doing. There. Now to tighten this up, now there is a torque for this, however I don't have a torque wrench that will do this. It's 12 to 15 inch-pounds, 1.4 to 1.7 Newton meters. I'm just going to do it up snug because you don't want to crack this. So just don't over tighten it, but also make sure it's tight. There. Now, before you get on it, you should just pump the brake a little bit. There. Now it's nice and hard. And we should be done, other than taking it for a spin. Well, if this video is published, just know that the brakes were successful. Again, I'm not a professional, don't know what I'm doing. I just have an owner's manual. I like bikes and I wanted to learn how to start working on it. Overall, that took me maybe a half hour to 45 minutes. And the main reason why is I'm including moving the bikes around just to get better camera angles, dealing with the camera, as well as there was an adapter that I couldn't find for the life of me because I never seem to put tools back where they belong. But yeah. If anyone has suggestions on a better way of doing it, or little tips and tricks, I'm always welcome to hear. Other than that, until next time, later.